Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan, an Olympian and beach volleyball world champion and a longtime professional indoor player.
And I'm Adam, former indoor player and coach, current beach volleyball coach, and most importantly, Sarah's husband.
Today we're watching season 3, episode 7 of Haikyu called Obsession. Last episode, there was a lot of talk about Kageyama being too tired, and I am sorry you guys, but I took it personally. I was really upset. Yes, he made a couple errors, but like his team backed him up. Tsukishima made that great one-handed like save. Hinata overran it and died inside, tipped it back with his left hand to win the set, by the way. So
I honestly kind of like that he made some errors. It makes
it's realistic.
Yeah, a little more human. Like he's been pretty much flawless since the show started. Like I'm thinking about it, and I don't think I've ever seen him make an error in 3 seasons until.
Well, and even when everyone was like, "Oh, he's so tired," he went. He was spin serving. He did a short spin serve, like clutch time.
Now I will say, and maybe you disagree with me on this, but I feel like fatigue for a setter is probably a little more pronounced than other positions because there's so much technique and footwork, and like you can be a little lazy as a hitter. You don't quite get to the ball, but you can jump and you can swing and make some adjustments. Setting is so precision that if you don't get your feet there or if you're a little bit late, like it can really hinder your ability to put it in the right place. And I just thought that was interesting, like seeing him fatigue and miss a little bit.
I don't disagree with you. It is a very mentally draining position too.
Yeah, because you're thinking about finding a one-on-one blocker, and then if your feet isn't there, if your contact isn't perfect, like there's a lot of ways for it to break down, and as soon as as a setter you make a mistake, everybody can see it's like that ball's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. It's been a lot of back and forth. Karasuno really stepped up and made some necessary adjustments after that blowout in set 3.
Ugly.
So we're heading into the 5th set.
I'm guessing we make it to an 8-7 side switch before the episode's over.
We'll find out. Karasuno's serving definitely got a lot better.
Yeah.
Ushijima was getting set a lot by the left sides from Shiro Torizawa. We saw a little bit into the relationship mindset of Washijo, Crypt Keeper, and even the way that he was thinking about Grandpa Ukai and just this and that. So he definitely seems to have a very particular attitude about volleyball. So we will see. We will see how this progresses, what we dive into here. So let's get started.
Karasuno for the win in the 5th set. Overtime by 2 points.
Oh, baby.
That's the prediction.
I love to see how these predictions change every episode.
No, you have to update the predictions based on the information you have.
Okay. Today, Karasuno's going to win by 2 points in the 5th set. We'll see what it is next week. But let's not wait any longer. Haikyu, Season 3, Episode 7, Obsession, is coming right now.
Here we go.
And that's all.
I don't like that.
I've never seen him go like crazy like that.
Wait, he's starting Suga? What is happening?
Too bad sets, you gotta get taken out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a Suga fan, and don't be mad at me that I paused it 30 seconds into the match. However, I took a lot of heat in the comments for talking through the match, so I'm pausing. This is...
Good feedback. He takes the feedback.
This is unbelievable. You have a starting setter who has gotten you to the 5th set of the biggest match you've ever played. Your setter you're putting in hasn't played all match, and you're just gonna flip the script in the 5th set? This is unbelievable.
I don't disagree with you. It's a little wild to me as well. Yeah.
This is like the biggest coach's hunch ever.
Not to mention, by putting him in, you are taking away his ability to come in as a pinch server.
Yeah.
So now Hinata and Suki, all you have on the bench is Yamaguchi. Maybe, you know, we haven't really seen anybody else come in that role. So you've completely taken that away. And not to mention the whole rhythm. I understand that Kageyama like isn't tip-top form, but you think that somebody that's been sitting on the bench the whole match who hasn't set a ball is going to do better?
He has 0 time to get a feel for the match. Like, every point you give up in this case is massive. It's a short set.
15 points goes fast.
So quickly. I 100% disagree with this decision.
Fair.
Okay.
On another note, I have returned from a match and had to practice.
Yeah.
When I played in Korea. I think I told you guys about that when I watched on my own. It was great.
All right, here we go.
Same girl, same. And like, fine, but like, you've lost a pinch server. I mean, we know that he's got some attitude, Suga, so
Yeah. I kind of like that from Asahi. He's gonna miss. Or not.
That was a nice swing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does, brother.
Real quick.
Come on, boy.
Yeah. Cover. Yeah, it looked a little low. He was like, eh.
Middle again.
Oh, lucky, lucky, lucky.
うちのレフトは優秀なんでね。心へし折りたい。うちのスパイカーは強い。俺が一番分かってる。朝日いないさ。
That is a sky ball of toss.
Ooh, did that clip tape?
Yeah, it looked like it.
うちの連中はちゃんと強い。
Noya set. Ooh, perfect. Holy!
Wait, what?
Even Suga started approaching. No, bro, I'm gonna hit.
Suga!
Didn't expect that, did you, Tendo?
Oh, that's awesome. Setters love hitting.
I'm actually very impressed.
Me too. That's not easy to do.
俺にも新しいことができる。よし、ブレイクだ。すごい、ナイスキー。あ、やったな。その通り。何回言わせんだ。直感だけで飛ぶんじゃない。でも、俺一人の直感だけで何点も取ってますよ。いつもそうとは限らないだろう。個人技には限界があるんだ。今が気持ちよくなきゃ意味ないですもん。 天道がいるといちいち練習が止まるんだよな。休めていいけど。っていうか、なんか怖いよな、天道。何考えてるかわかんない感じがさ。だよな。俺が気持ちのいいバレエがやりたいんです。
点が取れるなら何の文句もねえよ。
バッキバッキに俺何を心だよ。
Just a smidge, a little taster appetizer. Backstory of Tendo.
I mean, you could kind of tell he wasn't going to fit in as a kid. He's a little strange.
He's a little eccentric.
And it's... So I see somebody, a player like that, and my brain goes to, like, having a soft spot for him. Because those kids, you see them not fitting in. He's clearly got some skill, and there's potential there, but he's also not driven in the same way that other kids are. And I will say it's incredibly difficult to coach athletes like that in a team setting because you have to treat them differently, and it can create tension in the team when not everybody's kind of follows the same rules. But at the same time, if you can harness his ability and minus kind of the riffs, he can be a huge asset. But it's not easy.
Yeah, the way he thinks, I mean, we just saw a small snippet, but it seems that the way he thinks, his motivations, the way he approaches the game is just so fundamentally different from a lot of people where, you know, as athletes, you're usually trained, or the expectation is do what you're told, and then you kind of find your own identity or way to express yourself through a certain framework. But it seems like he has has the opposite, where he knows who he is, and it's just like he doesn't fit into any box, which, as we see with this woman coach, creates friction. Washijo might be a good pick for him because he's like, I literally do not care about you or what you think or what you want, just get the job done.
Yeah.
Which creates its own other array of issues, but it doesn't put someone like Tendo in a box.
Well, and the interesting thing when you look at somebody like Tendo is, so he's clearly bigger than most of the kids that he's playing with now. He definitely has good instincts, and his instincts serve him well at this level, and you can kind of get away with it. Sometimes he'll miss blocks and whatever else. If he wanted to play at the next level, he would need to hone his instincts inside of a system because the hitters will just be too good. So it also depends on what level you're at and what you can get away with. So I think it's interesting, and I like getting a little bit of the backstory. Mm-hmm. The other thing I want to bring up is we talked about Kageyama sitting because he was tired. Do you know who else has hit a ton of balls and is probably also kind of tired?
Who?
Ushijima.
No, but we talked about this last episode. Like, he is conditioned. And there were people who argued with me. They're like, no, Shiro Torizawa rarely goes 5 sets. So he is not conditioned for this, which, okay. But still, like, when you hit that many balls consistently, you get used to it. And so, like, yes, he has jumped a ton. He has swung a ton. He is probably tired. But like we said, you don't think about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think the other point for me is you win and lose with your best players, and you let them be on the floor. And yeah, it just kind of goes that mentality. Ukai, love him. You guys all know that. He's playing his gut, and he's doing something that probably nobody else understands. And the Crypt Keeper is like, we're gonna live and die with our guns. Have at it. I just thought it was interesting.
I mean, there is something to be said, and we were praising in previous episodes, like the creativity and the necessity for a team like Karasuno to make some bold adjustments. This is definitely that. This is a bold adjustment. And you know what? While I love Kageyama, and I'm just like, but I also love Suga, but I think Kageyama should be playing to finish this out. I understand wanting to rest him, whatever. But like, if the team loses, I would say that it is squarely on the shoulders of Ukai. Like, this is the boldest coaching decision.
Well, this is a fireable offense. Like, if you're coaching a pro team and you rest your starting quarterback in the finals and you lose, you no longer have a job. You're done. You're fired. It's over.
Like, this is a move that you like kind of test out in training camps or something like that. And we love Suga. We love him.
100%.
He is a resident of the love and the bro houses. We're just being objective here.
You also don't sub out your starting hitter or your starting setter so he can hit the second ball of the match.
All right. You know what, you guys? Let's practice me, the backup setter, hitting.
A temple ball off our libero.
Literally, team of 10, I'm like 9 out of 10 hitting option. Nishinoya being the only one who's lower than me. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're it's wild so far.
Love it though.
若田君、先週貞子やってたの見た？
見てない。
怖いんだけどさ、主演のブリュンヒルでレイコめっちゃ可愛いから見ちゃったよね。
そうか。若年とテレビの話題で盛り上がれるのは悟りだけだな。
盛り上がってはない。どう見ても。若年君って何やってても楽しそうじゃないよね。おい、失礼だな。若年君はなんでバレエ始めたの？
父親に少しの間を教わった。
へえ。
左利きは早いうちに矯正した方がいいんじゃないかと思って。
いや、そんなことないって。
うちでは昔からそうしているしね。
Somebody mentioned this.
でもすいません。それだけは。少しでも人と違うものを持っているというのは、きっとこの子の力になるので、他のことには口を出しませんから。
父ちゃんは選手？
ああ、2部リーグの選手だった。結婚より前に怪我が多くて引退してしまって。
へえ、なんて選手？
宇津井隆。
知らない。っていうか、西島じゃないんだね。
婿養子だったからな。両親はだいぶ前に離婚したが。
ごめん。
いや。
会ったりすんの？
いや、今は海外にいる。
ひー、かっけー。じゃあさ、若年くんスターになれば父ちゃんも見るね。
そうだな。
若年のお父さんの代に白鳥沢は全国制覇を果たしたんだったはず。
マジすげえじゃん。じゃあ父ちゃん見たくなりたい的な？
いや、特には。
あ、そう。
ただ、
俺たちのエースは文字通り日本一のエースでな。当時の身長は190センチ。高校3年でまだ伸びていた。でも退学だけじゃなく、こいつにあげれば絶対に決めてくれる。そう思わせてくれるやつだった。こいつは何かやってくれるってな、こうワクワクすんだよな。
そういう風になりたいと思った。
Are you serious?
Yeah, little.
I think it's so amazing how kids will hang on to one or two things that can shape their life. That is terrifying if you were going to be a parent.
Yes.
But, you know, I think that happens more than you think. Your kids are watching you, or you have a coach or somebody, you know, when you're young and you're doing something that says something that just stays with you and that drives you where you are going to end up going. I know that resonates with you, but I think that's very cool in terms of his mentality of where that comes from and where it started. He was a pretty good passer as a kid.
Yeah, and his dad took time to like help him and didn't try to get rid of the left-handedness.
Yes. Which
was very counter to what the matriarch wanted.
Yeah, that's a tough spot for a husband and a dad to be in, I think.
No, I'm just getting emotional because it reminded me of me and my dad.
Yeah.
影山もやれば？
無理です。俺は練習してません。西野屋さんと合わせる練習を。
This is not going to be a good time out from the Crypt Keeper.
あっちゅう間だしな。
取り返せ。以上。
はい。カラスの無茶な攻撃してくるな。
ああ、リベロが上げて、それ以外全員で攻撃なんて初めて見た。
今のには感心するのに10番は嫌なんだね。若年くんが10番を嫌だと思うのは得体が知れないからじゃない？よくわからないものって怖いじゃん。
怖くない。
いやいや、ほら、なんか嫌だなって思うってこと。少なくとも
Like Ryuk.
I literally can feel that. I know we're pausing a lot. Sorry. I can definitely empathize with that.
Oh, obviously.
Weird, like I don't know how many times I have told Adam, I hate weird players. Like for me, I am like volleyball purist. It's like so technically sound, you know, was trained in the like excellent technique. It was like beaten into me. So playing players who are not that, who are sloppy and messy and quirky and enigmatic as Tendo referred to, it bothers me so much.
More than words can express.
It's like, you're not good. Not that they're not good, like, objectively, but as far as, like, the essence and the purity of this and the beauty of the sport, it is just not that. So yes, when everybody's like, why are you taking Ushijima's side, like when you were on Hinata's side at the end of the beginning of season 2, it's like things like that. It's like Hinata's not a good volleyball player. He's not a pure volleyball player. And that just like, ugh, is irksome to play against.
Ooh. You gotta love those in the 5th set.
And case in point, it's a thing of beauty.
少しでも人と違うものを持っているというのはきっとこの子の力になるので。牛島さん、ナイスタイプバーン。バカ年、強烈なの頼むぞ。
Okay. I love when they have that gritty attitude on server C. Well, dang. I hope they're still gritty though.
Nice.
So smart. Oh, baby. Oh, no.
Move.
Hey, look at him
Move, Noya.
sliding in, though.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's a cool visual. Yep.
You could see the wrist like this, and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah.
I actually really like that animation.
It was very well done. That was a great move by Noya.
Yeah.
強いチームに入るといい。強くなれる環境には強いやつや面白いやつが集まる。そして強くなればいろんなやつと戦える。強いやつ、変なやつ、新しいやつ。そいつらはきっとお前を強くしてくれる。いやば、お前がバレエを続けたいと思ったらの話だけど、どういう形でもお前がバレエを好きになってくれたら嬉しい。キレキレなコースだな、若年。さすがだ。
It'd be amazing if his dad was in the stands.
乗ってきた。
I was in.
That thing is coming down quick.
Yeah. Okay, boys, time to turn it around.
Yeah.
うちのエースに火つけちゃったね。
Poking. Oh. I think it might be time to call a timeout after this.
It might be a little late.
後ろから牛若。
Nice touch. Oh!
He is exactly the type of person who would love to be annoying.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Sorry, go.
Well, I was just gonna say, for a hitter like Ushijima, who is so used to scoring all the time, the fact that he keeps getting touches, it's just grinding somebody down. It's just wearing on them. You know, mentally you're thinking, I can't get by this guy. He's always getting a touch. I'm still scoring, but it's just, it wears on you.
Mm-hmm. What I was thinking
Hit me.
was the stories that you hear about like Kobe Bryant having trouble like connecting with his teammates and just being different in the sense of like the guys are coming back from a night out and they like cross paths with Kobe in the elevator, except he's on his way to go work out at 4 a.m. when they're coming home. And just like the fact that like Ushijima just like his teammates like him and they respect him, but there's definitely kind of a disconnect just because he is just on this different level from them, socially, from a mentality perspective. And so the fact that, and so it just made me think of Kobe Bryant and that kind of thing, because when he was like, I think I'm getting into it. And then it's like he's trying to use their terminology, but it's like not natural to him. I just like, it's funny.
Yeah. I think you're right. And I think it's also weird to have kids at this age who are so like driven as well. That adds another level to it. But everybody loved his statement.
普通なら目の前の打ってきそうなスパイカーに飛びつきたくなるけど、月島が基本的におとりに釣られることはない。
リードブロックですね。
トスが上がった先に必ず月島は来る。目の前に必ず壁があるっていうそれだけの事実がどれだけ深いか。
Uka and Adam, same
そ
page.
れを5セットの間ずっと続けられたら、どんな無神経なやつだって相当なストレスになってるよ。
It's like you've seen this before, you knew it was coming.
Great minds think alike, except about Suga. Go.
Suga, okay, or Daichi. Oh my gosh, he is putting in work. Yeah.
ブロックが待ち構えてる真ん中使うの怖いよね。わかるよ。だからレフトだよね。わかるよ。
Ooh, that was a pretty good angle, actually.
すごい集中だ。長いラリーと疲労で頭より体が先に動いてしまってもおかしくないのに、必要な情報だけをすくい取る。
Drop it. Go.
He had to try to make it even more perfect because he kept getting touched.
Yep.
Huh? What? Oh, I thought he was calling a touch on the
So did I.
block.
でもいい傾向じゃん。切り替え切り替
あいつ手変です。くそ。何？
後ろからスパイクに触った時に切れたんだ。
So hard the like webbing just rips off.
誰だ？
はい。
Narita!
こんな時に幸い小指痛みさえ我慢すれば血ってどのくらいで止まるんだ。テーピングでガチガチに固めれば次のローテで日向が前衛だ。なんとかその間に。
医務室だ。
ありゃりゃ、怪我？この終盤であのメガネの離脱は痛すぎるな。
You need to get back out there.
ちゃんと時間稼いでよ。お前が戻ってきた時にはもう全国行き決まってっから。 集中し直し。和人、ブロックは単品じゃねえからな。後ろには俺がいる。練習通り遠慮せずに入ってこい。はい。
Perfect welcome for a guy who's probably literally pooping his pants.
もちろんだ。
兄ちゃん、なんでいるんだよ。知ってたけど。弟の勇姿を見に来たに決まってんだろ。その様子だと死にはしないな。死って何？生きてても肝心なところで役立たずだけどね。まあでも5セットなんて疲れるし。
Let's not regress here.
He's trying not to let his brothers see he cares.
そんくらい信じとけばいいんだ。
心配しないで。戻ってきたら負けてたなんてこと絶対ないから。
What is the worst thing that's ever happened to your hands playing volleyball?
Peter Herkel. It just... I mean, I feel it hurts, but there's nothing you can do about it. Your fingers... You just... They just are never the same. My knuckles are still...
See this pinky, everybody? I'm sure you've noticed. See that? That's as straight as it goes.
I mean, my knuckles are all different sizes. They just get jammed and you shake it off, you tape them, and away. You basically start every volleyball season with 10 decent fingers, and there's always a clock as to when they're gonna get jammed or broken, and once that happens, you just deal with the pain for the rest of the season.
Literally
That's just the way it goes.
The rest of the season.
Because it never heals.
This one actually broke.
Yeah.
I was blocking, the set got wide, and the girl, so I stopped because she could only go angle. Hit it right here, and the pinky just snapped. And it was just like dangling for the rest of the match. And then...
And what did you do?
Finish the match.
Yeah, you tape it up, you get back out there. I mean, that's...
And then they told me it wasn't broken, so this is what I ended up with.
It was broken.
And thumbs. I always got thumbs.
Yeah.
To the point that the ligaments in my thumbs would be so loose that if I was getting up from the ground, my thumb would just like collapse. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're pressing off the ground, my thumb would just like dislocate and collapse.
I always had to block. We had one of the heaviest hitters in our league on our team, and I was always blocking him. And he would just mash my hands, and it would just, I mean, my knuckles are all different sizes, and they're all, yeah, it's...
We're gonna have some serious hand arthritis.
I'm only gonna be able to clack on my keyboard for another 10 years before my fingers just don't work anymore.
Well, I'm not excited.
But he's gonna, he's putting on a brave face, or like he doesn't care for his brother, but he's gonna get that stop bleeding, he's gonna tape it up, and he's not gonna miss. I guarantee it.
月島があんな顔するようになってたなんてな。ここで根性見せずにいつ見せんだよ。
Look at the steam just rising off of his body. I love how everybody just wants it.
Tanaka with the kill.
Okay. Did he try to dump it?
No, he set the new guy.
Ooh, get him going early.
俺は2アタックが嫌いだ。怖いから。スパイクも同じ。本業以外にシャシャリ出て、もしミスったらと思うと勝負できない。でも、勝負に出なきゃ勝利もない。必要に攻めてこそカラスのライター。シンクロ攻撃。
Oh, new name!
こっちのチーム来んなよ天童。妖怪は人間のチームには入れないんだぞ。確かに妖怪っぽい。
く読んだな、サトリ。うん。
勘。あの顔。
I love the little bowl cut.
俺はワンタッチで満足なんかできない。
He's not wrong. There is no better feeling than stuff blocking someone and staring into their soul.
Little stuff and stare action, baby. I love that.
And the even better feeling is when it's one-on-one. When I don't know why I was thinking about this. Maybe it was after the last time. Oh no, I was reading comments about episode 4 when Suki was blocking, and I was just thinking about that feeling and how it goes when volleyball is not a physical sport in the sense that you can't really dominate another person. When you play football, lacrosse, hockey, which is what I played, like you can just physically overwhelm somebody, and that is a great feeling in and of itself, to just be stronger than somebody you're competing with. And I don't think there's a comparison in volleyball other than blocking. When you block somebody like that one-on-one, it's a similar feeling, and it is intoxicating. And I understand wanting to chase that feeling.
I agree. He is clearly passionate about it because he literally almost missed the moment of episode 4 because he was so excited about it.
Yeah, let me be excited.
Haikyu does an incredible job of making you feel for both teams and like wanting everybody to succeed. Because in the one instance you have Suga, who is like so vulnerable, being like, the fact that I think that I can do something that's not within my usual skill set, like it's so like, who do I think I am? But like, you're not gonna win if you don't take risks. Yes, Suga, 100%. But then on the other flip side, you see Tendo's backstory where it's like, don't ever go with your hunch, like you have to do this, you have to do that. And then like to see him be like, no, this is who I am, I'm gonna own it. And to have success in that same moment, like literally right after that, and be like, it was just a hunch. Let's roll that back to that lady who was yelling at him. Like, you're happy for him in that moment.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just like so amazing.
And that's I mean, nobody likes losing, but everybody goes through a journey. Everybody experiences all of those emotions. There is so many unique sports and experiences, and to see it from both sides like this is incredible.
Like, Karasuno are the protagonists of Haikyu.
Absolutely.
But it's just like, you just, there are so many other people who are adversaries to Karasuno that you like fall in love with or not. Don't get carried away. Tendo's not my favorite character, I'm just saying. But like, that you are satisfied when you see them have success too, even at the expense of the team that you want to win.
Does it ever make you think about, does watching this make you think about kids you played against in club, or like opponents you've matched up, and think about what is their story, what is their journey, because as a kid you don't ever think, like it doesn't, you're on the other side of the net, you're the enemy. The thought ends there.
Yeah.
And you come back and coaching does that, but this especially makes you think about your own experiences and who you've played against and what you've thought about them. It's really incredible, actually.
Yeah. Let's see. I hope Suki's okay. I hope he'll come back in time to get a couple more blocks.
You're not keeping him down at this point.
I lost track of the score. That run by Ushijima was just like not okay.
Yeah.
They were down, Karasuno was up 4-1 when he went to serve, right? And then
they sided out, he started serving at 4-2.
Yeah, so they were up 4-1, then they sided out, and then he went on a run. Like, that run was not
I think
good.
it's 7-4.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe 8-4.
How do you give up that many points in a row?
They can't pass the serve.
I know, I'm just saying it's not ideal.
But I also kind of like that as the ace, as the best player, he's coming out and playing well. If they win this set, it's not like Ushijima wilted or they didn't, like, Shiro Torizawa is playing very well right now.
And Karasuno just keeps digging into their bag of tricks.
Yeah.
So let's see, are they gonna stick with Suga? Are they gonna bring Kageyama back at some point? Will Suki make a return? So many questions.
And Sarah knows all the answers and I know nothing.
I don't feel bad. Let us know your thoughts. I feel like we did a lot of sharing this episode.
I agree.
Sorry.
I was told to pause, so I paused.
Yeah, fair. So hit us up in the comments below. Let us know what you're thinking, your thoughts, even about stuff that we brought up. But I really liked this episode.
Me too.
As always, we'd be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for episode 8 of Haikyu next week. Bye guys.